Chosen one. Listen, heaven has paused everything around you because something is about to shift. The silence you feel right now isn't abandonment, it's alignment. When God gets ready to elevate a soul, He quiets the noise, removes the crowd, and presses the world to stillness. You've been wondering why doors don't open, why messages go unanswered, why even prayer feels like it echoes back, empty. But what if this stillness is not rejection, it's the sound of divine orchestration? Because right here, in the hush between endings and beginnings, heaven is tuning your frequency to match the blessing that bears your name. Every unanswered call, every closed door is being rewritten as evidence that you are reserved for something greater, something that can only arrive in divine silence. Heaven has placed you under a holy pause, not to delay you, but to prepare the stage. You are being watched by realms unseen. Every breath, every tear, every moment of waiting is a part of your unveiling. It may look like you've been forgotten, but in truth, you've been hidden for glory. The pause before breakthrough is the same pause before sunrise. The world grows coldest, quietest, right before the first light pierces the dark. Listen closely. The reason everything slowed down is because God is about to accelerate you. You've been running on empty, yet you're still standing. You've been stretched, yet you didn't snap. Heaven took note of that resilience. There's a divine applause that doesn't sound like clapping, it sounds like strategy. Heaven has been rearranging things so that when it's your turn, no one can say it was coincidence. You may feel alone, but angels are stationed around your waiting room. You may feel tired, but grace is loading into your next breath. The delay is not denial, it's detail. Heaven is polishing your testimony so that when you step forward, your story will carry weight that crushes disbelief. There is a rhythm to divine timing. Sometimes God slows your pace so that destiny can catch up. Beloved, I know the ache, the silence, the wondering, the hiddenness. It's all part of being chosen. Those who are ordinary move fast and fade quickly, but those who are divine must wait until the orchestra of heaven cues their entrance. You are not late. You are on divine schedule. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 20, verse 16, so the last will be first, and the first will be last. Do you see it now? The delay is reversal in disguise. Heaven loves irony. Those who mocked your wait will witness your windfall. You are standing in the divine pause before your victory erupts. Heaven is whispering, don't move, don't rush, don't lose faith. You are seconds away from seeing what I've been preparing. Orchid. Even creation seems still right before a storm of blessing. The air grows heavy. The birds stop singing. The sky holds its breath. That's what's happening in your spirit right now. The quiet before the overflow. This is the sacred silence before your name is spoken, in rooms you've never entered. Before your face appears, where favor lives. Before the world realizes that your time has finally come. Chosen one. Don't despise the stillness. It's heaven's construction zone. You may not hear the hammer, but God is building something unshakable behind the curtain. When He opens that curtain, everything that once broke you will bless you. Every delay will make sense. Every tear will be recycled into strength. You're not waiting for nothing, you're waiting for divine order to click into place. And in this holy pause, God is watching your reaction. Will you complain? Or will you worship? Will you panic? Or will you praise? Your response determines the release. Every time you choose faith over frustration, you shift timelines. You draw heaven closer. You activate your turn. So, breathe. Let the stillness speak. You are in the calm before the crown. This pause is not punishment, it's prophecy. When heaven holds its breath, it's because the earth is about to shout your name. Remember this moment. You'll look back soon and realize that this was the last quiet night before your world changed. If this message stirred something in your spirit, like, share, and subscribe so that more chosen ones awaken before their own divine turn. Now, type 777 inches. The comments declare that you recognize the divine pause and you're ready for heaven's release. You wonder why the world feels quieter, colder, emptier. You look around and see people drifting away, friends fading into memory, conversations losing their spark, and invitations ceasing to arrive. But beloved chosen one, that emptiness is not abandonment, it's confirmation. You are being separated not because you are unworthy, but because you are becoming holy. Isolation is heaven's classroom. You were never meant to fit in. The shaking around you is divine. Heaven is cutting ties that cannot carry the next weight of your calling. Every time you feel misunderstood, heaven whispers, "Good. You were never meant to be understood by those who cannot see your crown." When you are chosen, comfort becomes rare, and solitude becomes sacred. The world cannot touch what God has hidden for transformation. You may look at your reflection and feel the ache of loneliness, but what you don't see is that the glow of glory is starting to form around you. Isolation is not punishment, it's incubation. Caterpillars vanish from sight before wings appear. Prophets are exiled before they speak to nations. Kings hide in caves before they sit on thrones. You, too, are in your cave season alone, but not forsaken, hidden, but not forgotten. The silence around you is heaven's proof that you're being refined. People who were once close may no longer understand you because your vibration is changing. You are no longer aligned with survival, you are aligned with destiny. And destiny has a narrow gate. Not everyone who began with you can continue with you. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Jeremiah. Chapter 1, verse 5. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. Read that again in your soul. Set apart, not left out, not cast aside. Set apart like fine gold separated from dust, like oil extracted from the press. You were separated for refinement, for revelation, for release. So stop asking why people leave. Some were only assigned to your history, not your destiny. They couldn't walk with the fire that was meant to shape you. Don't chase what God removed. Thank Him for holy subtraction. The smaller your circle becomes, the clearer your spirit hears. Your isolation is heaven's invitation. The quiet space is where you hear the whispers of God without interference. You are being trained to discern His voice among the noise. When everything is stripped away, His presence becomes unmistakable. That's why you had to lose the crowd to gain clarity. Beloved, remember this: the wilderness is not your grave, it is your garden. The soil may look barren, but deep beneath it, roots of revelation are forming. You are learning obedience, trust, and intimacy with the divine lessons that the comfortable never master. You are being taught to walk by faith, not validation. There's a special kind of growth that only happens in hiddenness. The seed doesn't grow in sunlight, it grows underground. The roots dig deep in darkness, long before the world sees a single leaf. So when you feel unseen, remember, you are becoming unshakable. You are growing strength the surface world cannot measure. And yes, the nights are long. The silence feels endless. The world moves on while you wait in shadows. But the same God who allowed the tomb is the one who scheduled resurrection. The stillness that feels like death is actually gestation. Something divine is forming inside your solitude. Soon, this isolation will give way to illumination. You will emerge with a new sound, a new confidence, a new anointing. The loneliness will turn to language, the language of those who have walked with God. You'll find yourself speaking peace into storms and light into despair, because you learned how to survive silence. You are not behind. You are hidden on purpose. God hides his rarest treasures where casual eyes cannot see. While others seek crowds, you are being drawn into communion. While others chase applause, you are learning to recognize whisper. You are not missing out. You are being moved deeper in. One day soon, the very isolation that once broke, you will become your secret power. You'll realize that in the silence, you met your maker. In the loneliness, you discovered love that doesn't fade. And when you return to the noise, nothing will shake you again. So, let the world misunderstand your quiet season. Let them think you've lost your way. Heaven knows you've finally found it. This is your sacred separation, the invisible preparation for visible glory. When the time comes, every moment of solitude will make sense, and you'll bless the silence that built your strength. For now, breathe in the stillness. Let it cleanse, refine, and fortify you. Every day alone is a brushstroke in the portrait of your calling. Soon, the isolation will give way to revelation, and the world will meet the version of you that heaven has been shaping in secret. You are not lonely. You are chosen. The air feels heavy again, doesn't it? Chosen one. You've been sensing a strange pressure that words can't explain, like something invisible pushing against your peace, whispering confusion into your thoughts. It's not your imagination. What you're feeling is warfare in the spirit. Heaven has identified you as a threat, and so has hell. The battle you can't see has intensified because your name has been announced in the unseen realm. Every sleepless night, every strange opposition, every random outburst from people around you, none of it is random. Darkness has recognized that your anointing is near activation. The enemy only fights what he fears. That's why the attacks became personal. That's why exhaustion suddenly feels spiritual. The battle is confirmation, not condemnation. When you are chosen, warfare is the language of recognition. Hell sends resistance when heaven has scheduled release. Every distraction is a design. The moment your destiny starts shining brighter, forces rise to dim it. But remember this, the same God who allowed the storm has already declared the victory. The ancient words recorded in Romans chapter 8, verse 37 declare, "In all these things we are more than conquerors through him who loved us." Oh, let that sink in. More than conquerors, not barely surviving, not hanging on by a thread, but destined to dominate through divine love. Every battle you face has already been calculated into your breakthrough. God never calls you to a fight. He hasn't already scripted for your triumph. You've noticed how certain people suddenly misunderstand you, how doors that seemed open start to close, how opportunities vanish just when you thought you were close. That's spiritual turbulence. Heaven is rerouting you while hell is trying to confuse your compass. Don't panic. It means you're getting closer. Sometimes the warfare increases because you've crossed into new territory. The enemy can sense your momentum and tries to unsettle your peace. He whispers fear, amplifies rejection, and magnifies delay, all to make you forfeit what's already yours. But you are not fighting alone. Heaven's armies stand beside you. Every angel assigned to your name is already in motion. Chosen one. Do you realize that your light terrifies darkness? You don't have to speak for demons to tremble. They sense your alignment. Every time you worship instead of worrying, they lose ground. Every time you choose forgiveness over bitterness, they lose power. You fight not by force, but by faith. The battle around you is proof of the blessing before you. It's the last stand of opposition before your unveiling. You've outgrown old tactics, and hell is panicking. That sudden heaviness, that fatigue, it's not failure, it's friction caused by elevation. The air gets thinner the higher you climb, and only those who breathe faith can keep ascending. When you feel surrounded, remind yourself, you are surrounded by God. When you feel weak, whisper the name that silences storms. The warfare is loud because heaven's countdown has begun. The enemy attacks hardest when he senses that your next step is victory. The Spirit wants you to understand that this battle is not meant to destroy you, but to define you. You are learning endurance, discernment, and authority. You are learning how to wield peace as a weapon. You are learning how to fight with stillness, not panic. So when the spiritual pressure builds, don't crumble. Stand taller. Declare who you are. You were never chosen to be comfortable. You were chosen to conquer. The sleepless nights are the price of the oil, the unseen anointing that separates the spectators from the soldiers. Every wound will one day shine with wisdom. You might not see it now, but heaven is using the resistance to train your hands for war. Your endurance in this season will become your evidence in the next. Soon, you'll look back and realize that every attack became the material for your authority. You'll thank the warfare because it taught you how to win in silence. So, when the heaviness comes again, lift your head and say to yourself, this is not the end. It's proof that I've stepped into the realm of destiny. You'll learn that peace is not the absence of war. Peace is the presence of God in the middle of it. And when you feel like giving up, remember this truth: battles are temporary, but crowns are eternal. Every spiritual bruise will be exchanged for beauty. Every tear is being counted by the one who never wastes pain. You are being fortified, not forgotten. This is your training ground. Stand still and see the salvation of your God. The warfare you're enduring is not punishment, it's prophecy fulfilled. Now, before you scroll away, type, I stand firm. That's not just a comment, it's a declaration. It tells heaven that you're refusing to retreat. And it tells hell that you've recognized the fight and chosen victory. Let your words mark the soil of faith. For what you declare in boldness now will manifest in breakthrough later. Chosen one. There is a mystery in delay that only the patient can decode. You have prayed, fasted, cried, believed, and still the doors stay closed. You have watched others move forward while you remain still, questioning whether heaven forgot your address. But listen closely. Delay is not denial. It is divine engineering. Because in the stillness of delay, heaven is rewiring your desires. What you thought you wanted is being refined into what you were meant to want. The waiting season purifies motives, transforming ambition into obedience. When God finally opens the door, your heart will be aligned enough to carry the blessing without bowing to pride. Every second of delay whispers purpose. You are not standing still, you are being seasoned. The silence stretches you so that gratitude will fit deeper when fulfillment arrives. Heaven's pace is perfect, slow enough to strengthen your faith, yet sure enough to never fail you when the appointed moment finally breaks through. There are blessings that can't arrive too early, because if they did, they would crush you instead of crown you. You are not waiting for something. The blessing is waiting for you, for the moment when your spirit, character, and capacity are mature enough to hold it without losing yourself. Heaven refuses to release promises that will destroy the promise bearer. Think of Joseph. He dreamed of greatness. But before the throne came the pit. Before the crown came the chains. Before influence came imprisonment. What looked like delay was simply the route God had marked for preparation. If he had reached the palace too soon, he would have lacked the wisdom to sustain it. Every delay carries the fingerprints of protection. You, too, are being trained in hidden classrooms of patience. The silence is your syllabus. The waiting is your teacher. The disappointment is your exam. Heaven grades not by speed, but by surrender. According to what is revealed in the book of Proverbs, chapter 19, verse 21, many are the plans in a person's heart, but it is the Lord's purpose that prevails. That means no matter how many plans you make, heaven's design overrides them all. The delay is where God edits your blueprints to match his perfection. Sometimes he withholds what you want to reveal what you need. The job that slipped away, the relationship that fell apart, the opportunity that vanished, all were acts of mercy in disguise. You see, blessings given before time are burdens. The fruit that ripens too fast rots too soon. God slows you down so your roots can deepen before your branches spread wide. The delay isn't robbing you, it's protecting you from premature exposure. There's a strange peace that comes when you finally understand that waiting isn't wasted. Every unfulfilled promise is gaining interest in heaven's economy. The longer it takes, the greater the return. Heaven doesn't forget. It multiplies. And when the time is right, it releases all at once, pressed down, shaken together, and overflowing. In your waiting, heaven studies your heart posture. Do you still praise when nothing changes? Do you still believe when nothing moves? Those are the tests that determine who receives temporary favor and who carries eternal anointing. The delay is shaping you into someone who can handle the weight of answered prayers without pride. Don't let impatience sabotage your process. The moment you try to rush destiny, you forfeit divina precision. You are not being punished, you are being positioned. God is synchronizing every event, every connection, every opportunity to arrive exactly when your spirit can handle it. Even nature understands delay. Seeds break underground before they bloom. Stars are born in darkness before they shine. Rivers carve valleys for centuries before they flow freely. Creation never panics about timing. Only humans do. but heaven's clock is never late. Beloved, there will come a day when you'll look back and realize that the waiting was the making. The unanswered prayers were actually divine pauses, protecting your destiny from collapse. What feels like delay now is preparation for sustainability later. So don't let frustration make you quit the process. Every "not yet" from God is a promise that the yes is already written. It just needs to mature into reality. Keep walking in faith. Even when the path feels endless, keep believing. Even when silence stretches long, one day soon, the pieces will fit. The doors will swing open effortlessly. The waiting will end with acceleration so divine that you'll forget the pain of patience. And when that happens, you'll know why heaven made you wait. Because you were never meant to receive small things quickly, but great things perfectly. The delay isn't your enemy. It's your escort guiding you to the exact moment when everything aligns. So breathe, trust, stay faithful. The blessing you thought was missing is actually maturing, becoming strong enough to last a lifetime. Heaven hasn't forgotten you. It's just not finished refining you. Chosen one. The heavens are watching, not from afar, but closely, like a gardener kneeling beside a seed just before it breaks the soil. This is heaven's surveillance season. You may feel unseen by people, but every act of obedience, every choice to stay pure, every moment you choose, light over bitterness, heaven records it. You are living under divine observation. The unseen world isn't silent, it's taking notes. Angels observe how you respond to the quiet tests. They see when you forgive in private, when you pray, though weary, when you choose integrity over opportunity. These are the moments that weigh heavy in heaven's courts. The applause of man fades quickly, but obedience in secret echoes forever. God does not test you to expose weakness. He tests you to reveal worth. Every season of stillness becomes your spiritual resume. Every decision you make while unseen becomes the foundation for what you'll carry when seen. You are being measured not by what you do in the light, but by who you are when no one is looking. Heaven speaks clearly through the words in Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 2. All these blessings will come upon you and overtake you if you obey the Lord your God. So when nothing seems to happen, when your prayers echo back unanswered, ask yourself, am I still faithful in the unseen? Because heaven is taking attendance, and every act of quiet faith counts. The divine camera doesn't miss a tear, a sigh, or a sacrifice. Every unseen offering, every whispered prayer, every moment you chose peace over revenge, all are seeds being stored for your harvest. Beloved, think of it like this: your life is a garden, and every small obedience is a drop of water. The more you water in private, the greener your destiny grows. People might not notice yet, but heaven already smells the fragrance of your faith. Soon, the fruit will appear, and it will be undeniable. You've wondered if what you do even matters. You've asked if your giving, your love, your patience is seen by anyone at all. But hear this truth: the God who sees sparrows never overlooks sacrifice. The same eyes that watched David in the field, Ruth in the gleaning rows, and Daniel in the lion's den are watching you right now. Every unseen act is an investment into eternity. The divine economy works differently: what you give in silence, heaven multiplies in sight. Whether it's your time, your kindness, your resources, or your prayers. Nothing offered in faith is ever lost. The world might never thank you, but heaven will reward you openly. So, as you walk through this quiet testing ground, remember, your obedience is being weighed, your heart examined, your character refined. Heaven isn't punishing you, it's preparing your promotion. Every secret yes becomes a public well done. Oh, and when you feel weary, when generosity feels unnoticed, imagine heaven's journal with your name inscribed at the top of the page. Every entry reads, "Still faithful, still believing, still giving." You're writing history that angels will one day recite. You've come far, and this is where faith matures into legacy. Keep walking uprightly, not for applause, but because obedience is its own reward. What you give from your heart multiplies far beyond what you can see. Every time you share light, you're adding warmth to a world grown cold. If this message resonates, let it ripple outward. Like it so others may be strengthened as you were. Share it not for numbers, but for souls who need to know they're being seen by heaven too. And if your heart feels moved, consider supporting the flow. Every seed of generosity keeps this stream of light reaching further. You're not just donating, you're watering divine ground. And above all, subscribe, not merely to a channel, but to the movement of awakening, to stay aligned with messages that keep your spirit alert, your faith burning, and your destiny in focus. Beloved, remember this: the small things matter. The unseen things are sacred. The quiet faith, the patient heart, the giving spirit. These are the true currencies of heaven. When you love without audience, when you sow without recognition, when you trust without sight, you're proving to heaven that you can be trusted with abundance. The world may measure success by followers and fame, but heaven measures by faithfulness and fruit. Keep tending your hidden garden. Keep watering your obedience. The one who sees in secret is preparing to reward you openly. Your season of being watched is not for fear, but for favor. The divine eyes upon you are not judgment, they're joy. Heaven watches with anticipation, whispering, "Look, they're still standing. On, you are not unnoticed. Chosen one." Every quiet, yes. Every tear turned into praise. Every act of unseen kindness, it's all being gathered, counted, treasured. Soon, heaven's surveillance will shift into heaven's celebration. The same eyes that observed your faith will watch your victory unfold. Chosen one. Something sacred happens when everything you thought was stable begins to shake. The people you trusted drift away. The routines you relied on collapse. Even your emotions start to betray you. But what looks like chaos is actually the silent pruning of God. He is cutting away what cannot carry your crown. You've been asking why certain connections ended so abruptly. Why opportunities vanished without warning. Why comfort seems impossible to find. It's not coincidence, it's cultivation. Heaven is pruning you in silence so that your next season can grow without decay. You prayed for elevation. And this is what it looks like when God answers that prayer. Pruning doesn't feel holy while it happens. It feels like loss, confusion, heartbreak. But every cut is intentional. God is not hurting you. He's healing your destiny. You are being reshaped, refined, redefined. The branches that once bore fruit must sometimes be trimmed to bear even more. That's divine agriculture, the mystery of growth through loss. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms, chapter 66, verse 10, "For you, God, tested us, you refined us like silver." Silver doesn't resist the fire, it surrenders to it. The refiner knows exactly when to turn up the heat and when to pull the vessel out too soon, and the impurities remain too long, and the metal weakens. The fire feels fierce, but the refiner's eyes never leave the flame. God is watching you just as closely. In this pruning season, you may not hear his voice clearly, but he's still speaking through subtraction. The things that fall away are divine sentences in a holy language. Every goodbye is a punctuation mark that ends a chapter not meant for your next volume. Chosen one. Understand this: the pain of pruning is temporary, but the fruit of it is eternal. When God removes something, he always replaces it with something stronger. You're not being emptied, you're being upgraded. The friendships that faded made room for covenant ones. The opportunities that failed made space for divine alignment. Heaven never subtracts without intention. You might look at the empty spaces around you and mistake them for abandonment. But those gaps are sacred. They're altars where new blessings will land. The soil looks barren because it's being tilled. You're not being stripped, you're being prepared. Every broken piece of you is becoming fertile ground for purpose. So don't mourn what left, thank heaven for what remains. Gratitude turns pruning into power. When you can praise through the cutting, you show heaven that you trust the gardener more than your comfort. That's when growth accelerates. Look closer. The silence is not absence. It's concentration. Heaven is working where you can't see. Your roots are deepening while your branches rest. You're learning strength that can't be learned in safety. You're discovering that God's love sometimes shows itself as removal. Every cut carries a whisper. I'm making room. Room for new people, new anointing, new purpose. You can't step into divine expansion while holding on to expired attachments. Some doors had to close so you could stop visiting your own past. Some relationships had to end so that peace could finally breathe. You see, pruning is proof of value. Nobody prunes weeds. They only prune vines destined for fruit. The very fact that God is cutting you back means he expects greatness from you. You are not being punished. You are being prepared for overflow. So if this season feels like reduction, remember, heaven trims before it triumphs. Every tear, every quiet night, every heartbreak is fertilizer in disguise. You are being strengthened for stewardship. And when you look back, you'll realize that the people who left, the plans that failed, the paths that vanished, they were all part of heaven's choreography. You'll thank God for every closed door, because each one protected your purpose. This pruning is prophetic. It announces that growth is near. You are standing on the edge of increase. Even if all you see are empty branches, the cut is not the conclusion. It's the cue that new life is about to bloom. So, wipe your tears. Lift your head. The gardener has not abandoned his garden. You are his masterpiece in progress. The sound you hear in your soul, the breaking, the shifting is heaven rearranging your story to fit glory. Your silence right now is sacred soil. Stay rooted. Don't run from the pruning. Rest in it. You're not losing, you're being lightened so you can rise higher. And when the time comes, the same world that watched you being cut back will watch you blossom again. They'll see that every removal was really a resurrection. Now, if this message touched your spirit, type 9,999 inches, the comments. That number isn't random. It symbolizes completion before new creation. It's your prophetic act of saying, I understand the pruning, and I welcome what comes next. Let heaven and earth witness your agreement, your surrender to divine reshaping, and your readiness for new fruit. Chosen one, you are standing in a season of testing, a kind of spiritual examination that doesn't arrive with written questions, but with choices that pierce the heart. Every moment now asks you to decide whether you will trust what you cannot trace. These are not random hardships. They are sacred measurements. Heaven is testing your alignment. At first, it might feel as though God has gone silent, like the heavens have turned to brass. You pray, but the answers hide in shadow. You move, yet every step feels uncertain. This is where faith stops being theory and becomes reality. The invisible God is asking you to walk with invisible confidence. The prophet Elijah spoke, as recorded in the first book of Kings, chapter 18, verse 21. How long will you waver between two opinions? If the Lord is God, follow him. That question echoes through your spirit even now. Heaven is asking, which side will you stand on when everything comfortable is removed? Alignment means loyalty. Even when logic protests, it means trusting divine instruction over human understanding. Sometimes, God will purposely cloud the path, so you learn to recognize his presence rather than his pattern. You've grown accustomed to signs. But in this testing ground, there are no flashing arrows, only a still, small voice that asks for obedience. And that voice is never loud. It waits for quiet hearts. Faith under pressure is the truest kind. Anyone can believe when things align. But heaven studies how you respond when everything contradicts the promise. Do you keep walking when the map disappears? Do you stay pure when compromise seems easier? These are the crossroads that reveal your true coordinates. You are not being tested to fail. You are being proven to prevail. The gold of your spirit cannot shine until the fire finds it. Testing removes mixture, peeling away fear, pride, and dependency on the visible. What remains after the trial is the essence of divine trust. This alignment season will confront every divided loyalty within you. It will ask you to release what feels safe so you can step into what feels sacred. Some relationships will test your boundaries. Some opportunities will test your discernment. Not everything that glitters is God. Sometimes the enemy disguises distraction as destiny. That is why discernment is rising in you like a second heartbeat. You can feel when something no longer fits. Even if it once blessed you, the old assignment is expiring, and heaven is calling you into precision. This is why peace now feels selective. It only rests where alignment exists. You'll notice that in this stage, comfort becomes the enemy of calling. God stirs the nest, so you can't build a home in what was meant to be temporary. He'll close familiar doors to push you into the unknown, where faith must breathe without formula. Chosen one. These tests are sacred. They reveal who you have become. When the easy path is blocked, it's not rejection, it's redirection toward righteousness. God is training your reflexes to choose him first, even when the logic of men mocks that choice. Sometimes you will feel torn between what your heart desires and what your spirit knows. This tension is holy. It sharpens discernment. You are learning that obedience isn't about convenience, it's about conviction. When you act from obedience, heaven releases favor that cannot be earned by effort. You might lose people who misunderstand your obedience. They will call your patience passivity, your surrender weakness. Let them. They cannot hear the instructions whispered in your spirit. What seems foolish to them is faith in its purest form. Alignment often costs comfort, but it births clarity. Each no you say to distraction becomes a yes to destiny. You are being trained to move by revelation, not reaction. Soon, you'll look back and see that every hard decision became a divine direction. So, walk steadily. You are not drifting, you are being directed. Even when you can't see the full map, trust the hand holding your compass. Heaven doesn't need you to understand the route, only to stay aligned to the call. And when the testing lifts, you'll find that your faith no longer depends on visible proof. You will walk in quiet authority, knowing that obedience itself is victory. That is the transformation God is after, not perfection, but alignment. Keep walking, even through the fog. Every unseen step is heard in heaven. Every act of trust resounds louder than any sermon. You are passing the test. Chosen one, not because you have all the answers, but because you keep choosing to believe while in the dark. Chosen one. There comes a point in every divine journey when pain stops feeling like punishment and begins to reveal itself as purpose. You look back at the wounds that once made you question your worth, and suddenly they start speaking. They tell a story, your story, and that story is sacred. This is the mirror of refinement, where what once broke you becomes the reflection of what built you. At first, pain distorts everything. It blurs the image of who you are. You see only fragments: disappointment, betrayal, the shadows of things that didn't last. But as light returns, you realize the cracks didn't destroy the mirror. They made it shine differently. Each scar catches the light in its own way. The reflection is not ruined, it is radiant with survival. When you were walking through the valley of confusion, you didn't see that heaven was molding you there. You thought you were being buried, but you were being planted. You thought you were being broken, but you were being branded by purpose. What others saw as failure, heaven saw as formation. The apostle reminds us in his letter to the Corinthians, chapter 4, verse 17, "For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all." That means your pain is not wasted, it is working. Every sleepless night, every hidden tear, every moment you held on when your strength was gone, they are all transactions in heaven's economy. Suffering is not random, it is sacred currency exchanged for endurance, empathy, and revelation. When God refines, He doesn't destroy the vessel, He purifies it. The fire was never meant to consume you, but to consume what wasn't you: the fear, the pride, the doubt. And though the flames were fierce, you are still standing. And that's proof that grace never left the room. You've learned more in your seasons of struggle than in years of ease. Pain became your teacher, showing you how to pray when words failed, how to hope when logic collapsed, how to love when betrayal burned deep. The lessons hurt, but they left holiness behind. You carry wisdom now, wisdom that can't be taught, only survived. Chosen one. Your scars are not shame, they're scripture written on skin. Every mark is a verse declaring, I lived. I endured. I overcame. You once hid them, wishing they'd vanish. But now you see they are evidence of grace. Divine tattoos that prove you've walked through fire and didn't lose your song. The mirror of refinement shows you both your weakness and your wonder. You see where you cracked, but also where light leaked in. You see that every heartbreak widened your capacity for compassion. Every loss stretched your ability to understand pain in others. This is why you carry peace now. It's forged from experience. The world often mistakes resilience for hardness, but your strength isn't stone, it's sanctified softness. You don't build walls, you build altars. You've learned that survival isn't about fighting harder, but surrendering deeper. The real victory is the transformation that pain produces, a tenderness that glows like gold, refined in fire. You are not the same person who entered the storm. Something inside you has shifted permanently. You walk differently now. Slower, perhaps. But sûre. You know the sound of truth because you've heard lies shatter. You know the weight of peace because you once carried chaos. That is the sacred exchange, pain for purpose. Ashes for beauty. Wounds for wisdom. When you look into the mirror now, you can finally bless the reflection. You no longer see someone broken, you see someone rebuilt. The cracks didn't diminish your value, they revealed it. Goldsmiths know that pure gold shines brighter after being bent and burned. So does your spirit. And maybe, just maybe, this was heaven's plan all along, to turn you into a mirror that reflects his light through imperfection. You are no longer hiding the marks, you're allowing them to testify. You are living proof that pain can polish the soul until it gleams with glory. So, when pain knocks again, and it will welcome it as an old teacher, ask, what are you here to show me this time? Every trial carries revelation disguised as resistance. What once felt like breaking will someday be recognized as birthing. You are the mirror and the light at once shattered, shining, sacred. And when heaven looks upon you, it sees not what was lost, but what was gained, a soul refined, a spirit resilient, a vessel that carries the reflection of divine endurance, chosen one. Before the wind changes, heaven always whispers first. The whispers are subtle, barely noticeable to the untrained ear, but to those who walk with sensitivity, they are unmistakable. You've started to sense it, haven't you? The atmosphere feels different. Your spirit feels both restless and ready. That's not anxiety, that's divine anticipation. The whispers before breakthrough are stirring around you. At first, they sound like uncertainty, tiny nudges in your thoughts, gentle tugs on your peace. You may find yourself waking at odd hours, feeling the urge to pray without knowing why. You sense something approaching, something you can't describe but can't deny either. This is how heaven signals transition, not with thunder, but with a still, quiet invitation to prepare. The Word of God declares in the book of Isaiah, chapter 43, verse 19, See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? Do you perceive it? Chosen one, heaven isn't asking if you can see it, it's asking if you can sense it. Before every visible shift comes an invisible whisper. You're feeling that now because heaven has already begun to rewrite your story. The signs aren't loud, they're layered in your daily life. The sudden exhaustion from old conversations, the stirring to move differently, the pull to release things that no longer fit. All of it is the language of new beginnings. Whispers often come before wind because God speaks softly to those he trusts deeply. He doesn't need to shout at the obedient. His voice doesn't compete with chaos, it calms it. So if you feel quieter lately, if noise irritates you more than it used to, that's because heaven is fine-tuning your frequency. You're being taught to recognize God's voice, not by volume, but by vibration. You are standing at the edge of transformation, but heaven won't let you run unprepared. The whisper is both warning and welcome. It says, gather your peace, clear your mind, because movement is near. That's why certain doors closed gently instead of slamming. That's why certain people faded instead of fighting. Heaven ended things softly so you would have space to hear clearly. Sometimes, the whisper is not a call to act, but to wait, to stay still long enough for divine timing to catch up with your obedience. The waiting isn't empty, it's strategic. Heaven is aligning resources, shifting hearts, rearranging circumstances, all in response to your faith. You don't see the pieces moving, but you will soon see the pattern they form. Chosen one. The whispers are also reminders. They say, don't go back to what I already freed you from. That's why old temptations return before new elevation. The enemy always tests your memory before your next level. He wants to know if you've learned to discern difference between what looks good and what's God. You'll pass this test by trusting peace over pressure. When you feel heaven's nudge, follow it, even if it makes no sense. The whisper doesn't need your logic, it needs your loyalty. Divine instructions often arrive incomplete because faith fills the missing pieces. When you move on the whisper, the wind follows. What begins as a small inner pull soon becomes a sweeping confirmation, and you'll know you're close when distractions multiply. The enemy always raises the volume of noise before breakthrough. That's not coincidence, it's interference. Stay anchored. The softest voice carries the greatest power. Heaven is whispering to you now. Chosen one. Maybe through this very message, maybe through the silence that follows. You are being positioned, not punished. You are being called, not confused. The whisper is the sound of destiny, breathing your name. Pause for a moment and listen not to your fear, not to your doubts, but to that subtle stirring in your spirit. That's not imagination, that's invitation. Heaven is preparing the wind that will carry you into your next season. But before the wind comes, you must prove you can hear the whisper. So, quiet your mind. Turn down the noise of comparison, fear, and frustration. Stand in stillness long enough for heaven to speak in its original language, peace. When peace returns, direction follows. Now, if your heart recognizes this moment, type, I hear you. Those 3 words may seem small, but they are powerful. They are a covenant between you and heaven, declaring that you are listening, that you're ready to obey. The next instruction whispered to your spirit. When you type it, you're not just commenting, you're confirming alignment with divine timing, because before your wind arrives, heaven must know this truth. You are no longer deaf to destiny. You can hear the whisper, chosen one. You can feel it, can't you? Something in the atmosphere has begun to shift. The air feels charged. Time feels shortened. And even your heart beats with new expectancy. That's because heaven's countdown has begun. Everything that was once still is now stirring. The divine clock is ticking, and its hands are moving in your favor. For so long, you've been waiting, watching others step into their promises while yours seemed paused. But now, heaven whispers, "Get ready." You've reached the appointed moment where preparation meets manifestation. You may not see the full picture yet, but the pieces are aligning perfectly. The signs are subtle, but undeniable. Conversations that suddenly open new doors. Opportunities that feel tailor-made. Divine coincidences that appear too precise to be random. That's not luck. That's heaven's scheduling. Heaven speaks through rhythm. Sometimes it slows the tempo so you can learn patience. Other times, it accelerates without warning. You are entering acceleration now. What used to take years will take weeks. What you prayed for in tears will soon appear in clarity. The divine wind has shifted direction. It now pushes you forward, not holds you back. The voice of God thundered in the book of Exodus, chapter 14, verse 13. Do not be afraid. Stand firm, and you will see the deliverance the Lord will bring you today. That same instruction echoes now. Stand firm. You don't need to chase what's meant for you. It's already chasing you. When heaven's countdown begins, movement becomes effortless. You'll notice it. The weight you carried starts to lift. Favor flows more freely. Peace returns without reason. It's not coincidence. It's divine convergence. But understand this. Acceleration demands awareness. When things begin to move quickly, stay rooted in humility. The wind of favor can either lift or scatter, depending on your posture. Keep your spirit low to the ground in gratitude, and the wind will carry you higher without breaking you. You might ask, what should I do while everything begins to shift? The answer, stay in sync with grace. Don't rush ahead of timing, but don't cling to hesitation either. Heaven's countdown doesn't invite panic, it invites participation. Each moment is an instruction, each divine nudge, a signal. Listen closely and move with courage. The sudden blessings about to unfold may feel overwhelming. People will start noticing what God has been cultivating in you privately. Opportunities you once thought were lost will circle back, now dressed in favor. But as you rise, remember, the source of your elevation is not your talent, your wisdom, or your charm. It's obedience. Heaven exalts the surrendered, not the ambitious. You've been faithful in little. Now the Father trusts you with much. Yet even in this rising tide, stay tender. Remember the nights you prayed when no one watched, the quiet tears you wiped in faith. Let gratitude become your anchor. It will protect you from pride when recognition arrives. And as the divine clock ticks faster, you'll feel an urge to share the light you've carried. That's not vanity, it's stewardship. When your life begins to shine, let that brightness guide others out of shadow. This is how the kingdom expands, not through fame, but through faithfulness multiplied. If this message resonates with your spirit, take a gentle step to spread it. Like it not for numbers, but as an act of agreement with heaven's movement. Share it because someone else is standing at their own countdown moment and needs this confirmation. And if you feel led, consider supporting the mission that keeps these words flowing like living water. Your generosity is not payment, it's partnership. Every seed you sow helps another soul. Remember who they are. and if this space has nourished your faith. Subscribe not just to a channel, but to a stream of light that keeps your spirit awake. Staying connected means staying ready. Aligned with every prophetic wave, heaven releases next. Think of it like this. Every message you support is another flame lit in someone's darkness. Every seed of generosity becomes a ripple in eternity. You're not funding words, you're fueling awakening. And heaven never forgets a giver who gives from love. Chosen one. This countdown isn't about endings, it's about emergence. You are stepping into the fullness of what was once promised. The waiting season built your character. The acceleration will reveal your purpose. Keep your eyes lifted, your hands open, and your heart steady. The divine moment you've prayed for isn't coming, it's here. Every tick of heaven's clock brings you closer to fulfillment. And soon, the sound you'll hear won't be the ticking of time, but the thunder of manifestation. The winds of destiny are already moving. Stand still, stay faithful, and let heaven carry you into everything it wrote about you before time began. Chosen one. Not every reversal is tragedy. Sometimes it is divine substitution. There are moments when God rearranges everything, pulling people, plans, and even peace away. Not because you failed, but because He is exchanging what is temporary for what is true. What looks like loss from the outside is actually the unfolding of heaven's strategy. You've watched blessings slip through your hands and wondered why. You prayed. You obeyed. And still, the outcome turned upside down. But heaven was never improvising. Every reversal is a rotation, a realignment of blessings toward their rightful destination. The doors that closed were never your punishment. They were your protection from premature possession. When heaven replaces something, it's always an upgrade. Yet it rarely feels like one at first. The heart doesn't understand divine trades until the fruit appears. What feels like betrayal might actually be promotion disguised as heartbreak. What appears to be rejection is often redirection in its purest form. Heaven removes what cannot sustain your next chapter, as the prophet wrote in the scroll of Habakkuk. Chapter 1, verse 5. Look at the nations and watch, and be utterly amazed. For I am going to do something in your days that you would not believe, even if you were told. Lo, that's what divine substitution feels like, unbelievable until revealed. God is doing something in your days that your logic cannot comprehend yet. He's exchanging everything you thought you needed for everything He knows you require. There will be moments when the swap feels cruel, when you lose something you loved, or someone you trusted turns away. It feels like heaven's silence is approval of your pain. But it's not silence, it's surgery. The divine hands are removing attachments that block abundance. The procedure hurts, but the outcome heals. You see, when the timeline of your life begins to accelerate, heaven doesn't always add, it subtracts. It trims branches, clears clutter, and sometimes replaces the entire tree with a stronger seed. You may not recognize the growth yet, because it's still underground, but roots are spreading, even while your vision seems empty. Divine reversals also expose truth. They reveal where your faith has been anchored. Was it anchored in outcomes? Or in obedience? In people? Or in providence? The testing ground of reversal shakes every false foundation until only what's eternal remains. And when the shaking ends, you find yourself standing on solid ground you didn't know existed. chosen one. Consider Joseph again. The pit became his platform. The prison became his preparation. The betrayal became the bridge. Everything meant for harm was reversed into harvest. You are walking that same pattern now. What was meant to humiliate you will one day be the headline of your redemption. Heaven takes delight in dramatic reversals because they reveal divine authorship. No human hand can orchestrate the kind of restoration that turns ashes into thrones, or despair into destiny. God waits until every option fails, so that when He intervenes, no one can take the credit. So when the world seems to collapse, don't panic, observe. Reversal is heaven's language for renewal. The old order must fall for the new to rise. Some endings are invitations in disguise. When something leaves your life, whisper this truth: if it was mine by God, it will return. If not, it's being replaced by better. And your life is not unraveling, it's being rewoven. Each loss, each disappointment, each unexpected turn is thread in a larger tapestry you cannot yet see. One day, you'll stand back and marvel at how the colors of pain blended perfectly with the shades of purpose. And when that moment arrives, gratitude will replace grief. You'll thank God for every no that saved you, every closed door that redirected you, every fall that humbled you enough to rise again. You'll realize that divine substitution was not about deprivation, it was about preparation. This is why the path of the chosen often feels unstable. You are being moved from one level of grace to another, and the transitions are rarely smooth, but they are sacred. The unseen hand of heaven is adjusting every variable to ensure that when you step into your next phase, it fits perfectly. No excess, no lack. What you're experiencing now is not randomness, it's precision. Every reversal is exact, every loss timed, every replacement custom-tailored to your calling. Heaven does not guess, it guarantees. So breathe. Beloved, let go of what was. Trust the exchange. You are not losing ground. You are being repositioned on higher terrain. Soon, the things that once confused you will make sense in the light of revelation. The substitution will be complete, and the reversal will turn into restoration. And when that happens, you'll know God never takes without giving greater. The trade may feel painful, but the outcome will be perfection. You'll look at your life and say, now, I see why that had to end so this could begin. Chosen one. The moment you've sensed in your spirit is drawing near the crowning moment of recognition. For years, you've been hidden, building quietly, enduring silently, and believing faithfully while the world overlooked you. But heaven never lost sight of you. Every hidden hour has been a rehearsal for this unveiling. The time is coming when what was whispered in private will be witnessed in public. You may not realize it, but the spotlight of heaven is already tilting in your direction. The divine announcement is being prepared not through the voice of man, but through the orchestration of circumstances. People who ignored your name will suddenly mention it in rooms of influence. Opportunities will align like constellations. What once required effort will begin to flow with ease. It's not coincidence, it's coronation. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Luke, chapter 12, verse 3, "What you have said in the dark will be heard in the daylight, and what you have whispered in the ear in the inner rooms will be proclaimed from the roofs." Heaven is about to proclaim what you carried in silence. Your crown won't appear as gold or jewels, It will show up as clarity, favor, and authority. You won't have to announce yourself. Your obedience will speak louder than any introduction. The same people who doubted you will have no choice but to recognize the hand of God upon your life. But remember, the crown is not a trophy, it's a trust. God exalts you not to elevate your ego, but to extend His influence through you. The crown represents responsibility, stewardship, and visibility. It means heaven can trust you to represent light in a world that prefers shadow. You are being crowned, not for comfort, but for calling. You might ask, why now? Why after so much silence? Because the process produced weight. Only those who endured pressure can carry presence. God was never delaying your moment. He was ensuring you wouldn't crumble under its glory. The years of being misunderstood were not wasted. They built your inner infrastructure. You had to grow strong enough to carry what others might drop. Chosen one. When heaven crowns you, it's never subtle. It's undeniable. The shift is visible in your countenance, your voice, your peace. People sense it before they can name it. It's the quiet confidence of someone who knows they've been chosen, not by men, but by God. You'll no longer chase validation because you'll embody confirmation. This recognition won't just honor you, it will humble you. You'll look back on the nights of tears, the valleys of silence, and realize they were all threads in the fabric of your testimony. The crown fits now because it was molded by those very moments of pain. Every hardship carved the circumference of glory you now carry. But take heed, recognition attracts both admiration and resistance. Some will celebrate you sincerely, others will question your right to rise. Don't defend yourself. Let fruit speak where words fail. True royalty doesn't argue, it operates. You don't need to prove you're chosen when heaven has already placed the seal upon you. And yet, even as you step into this light, remember where you came from. The same humility that kept you grounded in obscurity must keep you steady in visibility. The higher God lifts you, the deeper your roots of gratitude must grow. Never forget the hands that helped you, the prayers that carried you, and the grace that sustained you. This moment isn't about showing the world what you can do, it's about showing the world who He is through you. You are a living demonstration of divine faithfulness. Everything that once worked against you will now work for you. Every delay will make sense. Every detour will align. The story will sound so perfectly orchestrated that even skeptics will whisper, "Surely, this was God." Now, your crown won't just rest on your head, it will radiate from your heart. It's the glow of someone who endured pruning, passed testing, and still chose love. It's the evidence of transformation. You are becoming a beacon of what obedience produces, a living prophecy of restoration and reward. And when this happens, don't heed it. Stand tall, not in arrogance, but in acknowledgement. Let your life declare, this is what it looks like when patience meets purpose. Because your rise is not just for you, it's a signal to other chosen ones that their time is coming too. Now, if your spirit feels that confirmation, type 5,555 inches. The comments. That number speaks of divine grace, multiplied grace that carried you through process, through pain, through pruning, all the way to promise. When you type it, you're declaring, I receive my crown, but I remain humble. It's not superstition, it's agreement. Let heaven see your acknowledgement and multiply your grace in this very hour. The coronation is not approaching, it has begun. You are walking into visibility, wrapped in favor, carrying authority, refined by endurance. Heaven smiles as earth prepares to echo. The chosen has been crowned. Chosen one. As the crown settles upon you, something invisible begins to descend the weight of glory. It's not light, it's not decorative, it's heavy, holy, and deeply humbling. You start to realize that winning isn't about applause or achievement, it's about carrying light with authority. Glory has a weight because it's not meant for decoration, but for transformation. At first, the weight surprises you. You thought victory would feel like release, but it feels like responsibility. You feel the pull to remain pure, to walk uprightly, to guard your peace as though it were sacred ground, because it is. Glory doesn't simply visit, it dwells. And wherever it dwells, it demeure révérence. Glory is not a crown for your head, it's a mantle for your soul. It changes how you move, how you speak, how you see. You begin to notice things differently. What once entertained you now feels empty. What once distracted you now grieves your spirit. That's not pride, that's sensitivity. Heaven has expanded your awareness, and you cannot return to ignorance once you've tasted illumination. The Apostle wrote in the second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 4, verse 6, "For God, who said, 'Let light shine out of darkness,' made his light shine in our hearts to give us the light of the knowledge of God's glory." That light is not external, it burns within you. You carry it now, and it radiates through your eyes, your words, your silence. People begin to feel peace simply by standing near you, though they can't explain why. That is the manifestation of glory, not performance, but presence. Yet, glory comes with a price. It isolates as much as it elevates. The higher you rise, the thinner the air becomes. Not everyone can breathe where you're going. Glory exposes what's false, both in others and within you. It calls for integrity so deep that even your thoughts become acts of worship. This is why God prepared you through pain before entrusting you with power. Without humility, glory corrupts. Without purity, glory leaks. The fire of refinement wasn't punishment, it was insulation, ensuring the vessel could carry divine voltage without breaking. You've become a temple that houses brilliance, and that brilliance must be guarded. When glory rests upon you, your victories no longer feel like personal gain, they feel like holy assignments. You begin to sense heaven using your voice, your story, your influence to awaken others. The applause of man fades quickly compared to the satisfaction of obedience. You no longer chase recognition, you carry revelation. And you'll notice that with greater glory comes greater sensitivity to suffering. You start seeing through divine eyes, recognizing pain beneath smiles, hearing cries behind laughter. Glory enlarges your heart. It turns authority into empathy. It teaches you that the true purpose of elevation is intercession, to stand between heaven and earth and channel healing into hurting places. Chosen one. This is why the weight feels so real. It's the pull of responsibility that accompanies revelation. You can't hide anymore. You can't speak carelessly. You can't move without awareness. Everything about you now carries consequence because glory travels with you. When you walk into a room, atmospheres shift. When you speak, Something unseen listens. You've become an instrument through which heaven expresses itself. But remember, glory is not owned, it's borrowed. It belongs to the giver, and your task is to reflect it, not contain it. Like the moon reflects sunlight, you reflect the radiance of the divine. When people praise you, redirect their eyes upward. When they misunderstand you, stay low. The safest place for glory to rest is upon a bowed heart. Glory is heavy, but it's holy. It presses upon you, not to crush, but to consecrate. It reminds you daily that you are dust touched by divinity. The very fact that heaven trusts you with this presence means you've passed the tests of humility. Now, your life becomes less about achieving and more about abiding. You will learn to move quietly, powerfully, purposefully, like wind carrying fire. You will not need to prove your worth, because the weight you carry proves itself. Every word, every gesture, every act of kindness will carry eternal resonance. This is the paradox of divine victory. The more you win in heaven's eyes, the smaller you appear in your own. True greatness bows lower, loves deeper, and shines brighter without trying. Chosen one, wear this weight with reverence. The world sees success, heaven sees stewardship. You are carrying light wrapped in humanity, a living reminder that God still dwells among his creation through willing vessels. And though the weight feels immense, grace will always be strong enough to hold it. Chosen one, every story of redemption needs witnesses. Every divine transformation must be seen by those who once doubted, dismissed, or denied its possibility. That is why some of your enemies still stand near. God has not forgotten to remove them. He has deliberately kept them in position. They are not obstacles now. They are observers. Their presence serves a prophetic purpose, to testify that what he began in you, he has completed. It's strange, isn't it? The same mouths that once mocked now fall silent. The same eyes that once rolled in disbelief now widen in awe. They see you standing where they never thought you'd stand, walking in favor they once said you'd never find. But this isn't revenge, it's revelation. Heaven turns your critics into chroniclers of divine power. The ancient words recorded in the book of Psalms, chapter 23, verse 5, still echo. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. And that table is being set before you now. It's not a banquet of pride, but of proof. God does not host your victory to humiliate others. He does it to highlight his faithfulness. The oil on your head is not to flaunt superiority, it's to signify service. The overflowing cup means your joy is no longer fragile, your peace no longer conditional. Your enemies are not invited to eat, they are invited to watch. Their disbelief becomes the backdrop for God's display of mercy. Each one will see that what they called impossible was inevitable in heaven's plan. The stage of your life was arranged so that even disbelief would have a front row seat to the unfolding of destiny. And yet, notice how God does this without bitterness, without noise. He doesn't need to humiliate anyone to vindicate you. He simply lifts you so gracefully that no one can deny his hand. That's the power of divine elevation. It corrects without confrontation. It turns insult into instruction, betrayal into backdrop, hatred into harmony. Chosen one, when you walk in this kind of grace, vengeance loses its appeal. You no longer crave apologies or explanations. The peace that follows fulfillment is deeper than vindication. You realize that justice was never yours to administer. It belonged to God all along. He knows how to balance every scale and silence every tongue. Sometimes He allows certain people to witness your rise so they can confront their own unbelief. Your transformation becomes their mirror. They see in you what surrender looks like, what endurance produces, what grace can build from ashes. You are not merely a testimony, you are a teaching. This is how heaven redeems even your opposition. Those who once plotted against you unknowingly become participants in your prophecy. They were part of the soil that helped you grow. Their rejection forced you to depend on God more deeply. Their absence created space for better alliances. Their words, meant to wound, became wind beneath the wings of your perseverance. Every insult became instruction. Every betrayal became a lesson. Every wound became wisdom. You learned to love through resistance, to forgive before understanding, to bless while bleeding. Now that strength radiates through you like morning light through shattered glass, brilliant because it broke first. When your enemies see you now, they won't recognize the same person. You've evolved beyond the reach of resentment. Your smile no longer hides pain, it announces peace. That peace is your true victory. It disarms accusation and dismantles hostility. Chosen one. Don't look back with anger. Look back with awe. See how perfectly everything fit together: the pain, the pause, the pruning. Even your enemies played their parts with precision. Their disbelief was the canvas upon which God painted His masterpiece. And when they whisper about your transformation, don't correct them. Let their curiosity become conviction. God is teaching them through your endurance what sermons could never explain: that grace is real, that mercy restores, and that destiny never depends on human approval. This is the divine irony. Those who tried to bury you will one day quote you. Those who cursed your name will one day reference your strength. And those who once turned away will quietly bless the day they witnessed your resilience. Heaven's justice is poetic. It never humiliates. It illuminates. Your story is not about defeating enemies, but redeeming perspectives. The same light that guided you out of darkness now shines on them, inviting them to believe that redemption is possible for them. 2. Chosen one. Hold your peace and wear your grace like armor. The vindication you carry is silent but sure. God has written your triumph into history, and your enemies, every single one, will read it, line by line, as living proof that heaven always finishes what it starts. Chosen one. When the crown settles and the applause fades, a new kind of challenge begins. The challenge of stewardship. You have entered a season where visibility is both a gift and a test. The light that once guided you now shines from you, and how you handle it will determine how far it spreads. Glory is never meant to be hoarded, it is meant to be managed. Heaven has entrusted you with influence, and influence, like fire, can either warm or burn. The same flame that lights the path for others can consume the careless. That is why stewardship begins not with control, but with humility. You must hold your blessings loosely, knowing they are not possessions, but responsibilities. According to what is revealed in the book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 9, honor the Lord with your wealth, with the first fruits of all your crops. That verse isn't about money alone, it's about posture. Honor is the way you hold what heaven hands you. It means remembering who gave it, why he gave it, and how it should flow through you. Everything, you now have peace, wisdom, visibility. Resources is meant to circulate. Stagnant blessings spoil. Shared blessings multiply. So, how do you steward this season well? Start by returning to the simplicity that built you. Don't let success silence sincerity. Keep your altar active. Keep your gratitude audible. Every sunrise is another invitation to say, I remember who carried me here. Gratitude keeps pride out and grace in. You'll notice that as your influence grows, the noise around you will grow too. More opinions, more expectations, more distractions. But remember, not every voice deserves a seat at your table. You must learn to feed your purpose while fasting from unnecessary approval. Stewardship means staying focused when flattery arrives, staying faithful when criticism bites, and staying generous when gain tempts you to close your hand. Your life has become a lighthouse. Every word you speak, every post you share, every decision you make sends ripples through souls who watch silently. Stewardship means being conscious of that ripple. It's not about perfection, it's about awareness. When you walk in humility, your authenticity becomes a sermon louder than any speech. Chosen one. Take a moment to reflect. You are now living what you once prayed for. The very platform that felt so distant is now beneath your feet. But heaven didn't place you here to be idolized. It placed you here to be instrumental. You are a bridge between despair and hope, between confusion and clarity. Handle that bridge with care, because many will cross it because you dared to build it. If this message resonates with your spirit, let it breathe beyond this screen. Like it not as routine, but as recognition, a small amen that agrees with heaven's rhythm. Share it so that others standing at their own crossroads may find direction. When you pass light forward, you don't lose it, you multiply it. And if you've been nourished by this stream of words, consider supporting the work that keeps this flow alive. Think of it as adding wood to a sacred fire that warms countless souls. Every act of generosity, whether prayer, encouragement, or donation, becomes a spark that ensures the flame never fades. You're not just helping a voice, you're helping a movement of awakening continue to reach the weary and the waiting. Lastly, subscribe not merely to a channel, but to consistency, to stay connected with the messages that keep your heart aligned with heaven's pulse. The digital world is noisy, but together we create sanctuaries of stillness where truth can breathe. When you stay connected, you keep the flame within you fed. Chosen one. Stewardship is love in action. It's the gentle art of handling divine trust with care. It's remembering that everything you hold came through grace, and everything you give returns through grace multiplied. Think of your life as a river. If it keeps flowing, it stays pure. If it stops, it stagnates. Stewardship is choosing to stay in motion, letting blessings move through you to water dry ground around you. You are not a reservoir, you are a current. When the world sees you shining, they will sense something different. Peace that doesn't boast, purpose that doesn't perform, generosity that doesn't seek applause. That's stewardship at its purest form, serving quietly, shining steadily, giving freely. So keep your heart soft, your hands open, and your focus heavenward. Every act of care, every seed, every share, every small amen is noticed. You are doing more than supporting a message. You are keeping a flame alive in a world that desperately needs light. Now, if this spoke to your spirit, leave a comment below. Tell what you're learning, what heaven is stirring in you. Your words might become someone else's confirmation. In stewardship, even your testimony becomes a gift. Chosen one, you have crossed the threshold, the silence, the warfare, the pruning. All of it was preparing you for this, to become a voice of awakening. You are no longer simply surviving transformation, you are carrying it. Every word that now leaves your lips bears the fragrance of what you have endured. You are not just speaking about breakthrough, you are the evidence of it. There is a sound in heaven that resembles a trumpet, and though you might not hear it with your ears, your spirit feels it. It's the same sound that stirred prophets in deserts and disciples in prisons, a call that says, "Speak what you've seen." That's what is happening to you now. You've been through the furnace, and now your testimony burns with divine fire. As was spoken in the sacred texts of old, the book of Joel, chapter 2, verse 1. Blow the trumpet in Zion, sound the alarm on my holy hill. Let all who live in the land tremble, for the day of the Lord is coming. That verse isn't about fear, it's about awakening. When God raises a voice, it's not to create panic, but to provoke purpose. You, chosen one, are being positioned as that voice. You are becoming a living trumpet, a reminder to sleeping hearts that time is short, that love is urgent, that light must not hide any longer. Your testimony has weight because it was written in the language of pain and perseverance. When you speak, people won't just hear you, they will feel the echo of every valley you walked through. Your words will carry healing, not because you studied it, but because you survived it. Heaven trusts voices that have scars. You are not being asked to shout, you are being asked to shine. Awakening isn't about volume, it's about vibration. It's the ability to speak peace into chaos, to ignite courage in weary souls, to call lost hearts back home without condemning them. That's the authority born of compassion. You will find that when you speak truth, resistance rises. Some will misunderstand you. Others will mock your message. But don't retreat, remember. Light naturally irritates darkness before it illuminates it. The very opposition you face is proof that your words are working. Keep your tone gentle but unshakable. Speak as one who knows the source, not as one trying to prove it. Becoming a voice of awakening means walking in both power and tenderness. You must carry conviction without cruelty, truth without arrogance, and fire without fury. The world doesn't need more noise, it needs clarity. And clarity is born from communion. Stay close to the one who called you. The moment your intimacy fades, your message will lose its melody. This calling isn't about platforms or numbers, it's about souls. Heaven's metric for success is obedience, not popularity. Even if only one heart awakens because of your light, you've fulfilled divine purpose. But often, that one heart will ripple outward, touching hundreds, then thousands, because truth, once released, multiplies effortlessly. Chosen one, you are not just carrying a message, you are carrying atmosphere. Wherever you go, rooms will shift, minds will soften, hope will rekindle. You will begin to see the fruit of all the hidden years, the compassion, the discernment. The courage you once thought were fragments are now forming your voice print. You are heaven's reminder that redemption is real. Sometimes, your awakening will come through words, other times, through silence that speaks louder than speech. The way you walk, forgive, create, and serve will awaken others far more than sermons. You will become living evidence that faith still transforms, that love still heals, that grace still chooses ordinary vessels for extraordinary tasks. And as you keep walking, you'll realize that awakening others also awakens deeper parts of you. Every time you speak light, it returns to illuminate another corner of your own soul. The calling feeds the carrier. The more you pour out, the more heaven fills you. This is your next season, not of striving, but of sounding. The trumpet has been placed in your spirit. When you open your mouth, heaven will breathe through it. You will remind a weary generation that it's not too late, that mercy still moves, that purpose still pulses beneath pain. You are the bridge between slumber and stirring, between despair and destiny. Walk gently, but boldly. You are not just a survivor, you are a signal. And wherever your voice travels, light will follow. Chosen one. The circle is closing, not as an ending, but as a completion. You have walked the long road of refinement, isolation, testing, and revelation. Now, heaven brings you back to the place where it all began. But this time, you return not as a victim of circumstance, but as a victor of faith. This is the full circle, the anointing of the victor. You stand again before familiar ground, faces you once feared, memories you once avoided, doors that once closed in your face, but they no longer hold power over you. The past can no longer imprison what has been transformed by purpose. You have outgrown the pain that once defined you. What was once a wound has become a window, and through it, heaven shines. As the ancient words remind us in the book of Genesis, chapter 50, verse 20, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good, to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives." That is your story. In one sentence, what was meant to break you became the birthplace of your strength. What others used to shame you became the soil for your anointing. The same valley that once swallowed your hope now echoes with your victory song. Returning full circle is not about reliving pain, it's about redeeming it. You see everything differently now. Where once you saw failure, you now see formation. Where once you saw betrayal, you now see building blocks. The pieces that didn't make sense have arranged themselves into a masterpiece of divine design. You will notice that people who once pitied you now look at you with quiet awe. They sense something unexplainable in your presence, a peace that no storm could take, a confidence that no circumstance could shake. They are witnessing resurrection. For resurrection is not just what happens after death, it's what happens when you refuse to stay buried. This final turning of the circle brings restoration, not revenge. You don't return to prove anything. You return to bless the ground that once bruised you. Forgiveness now flows effortlessly because you've realized that bitterness was too heavy for a crowned head to carry. You don't curse the journey, you honor it. Every hardship became an altar, every disappointment a doorway. Chosen one, Look closely. You are not standing where you started. You've returned to the same landscape, but at a higher elevation. What was once a battlefield has become a viewpoint. You can see with clarity now, nothing was wasted. Every detour, every delay, every unanswered prayer, all of it served a purpose, too intricate to see while you were walking through it. You have been refined into a vessel of calm authority. You speak less but carry more weight. You no longer chase understanding because revelation has replaced explanation. You've learned that peace is not the absence of storms, but the mastery of staying still within them. This full circle is also heaven's seal of trust. You have proven faithful with little. And now, more is being entrusted to your care. Not more comfort, but more calling. You've been prepared to guide others through their own valleys because you remember the map drawn by your tears. You can now stand before the broken and say, I know the way out, not with pride, but with compassion. You have become what the journey was designed to produce, a living prophecy of endurance and grace. Your life now preaches without words. Every breath declares. God finishes what he starts. Now, as the circle closes, the story doesn't end, it expands. The same light that once rescued you now flows through you. The same grace that sustained you now radiates from you. The same God who began the good work in you now uses you as evidence that his word never returns void. Stand tall. Beloved, you are the fulfillment of promises spoken long before you understood them. The trials have become triumphs. The pain has become purpose. The journey has become joy. You have come full circle, and this time, you walk not as one trying to prove worth, but as one who finally knows it. Heaven smiles. Earth bears witness, and eternity writes your name among those who finished faithfully. Chosen one, you've walked the entire journey from the silence of waiting to the fire of refinement, from hidden tears to the crown of purpose. If these words found a home in your heart, let them continue their work beyond this page. Like this message, if it stirred your spirit, not as routine, but as recognition, a small act that says, I hear heaven. Share it with someone whose faith is flickering. You never know how far one spark of light can travel when released in love. Every time you pass hope forward, you keep heaven's echo alive in another soul. Take a moment to comment below. Tell what part of this journey spoke to you. What moment reminded you that you were chosen all along? Your words might become someone else's confirmation, the lifeline that pulls them from despair into destiny. And if you wish to stay connected to this flow of divine messages, subscribe, not for numbers, but to remain anchored in a rhythm that keeps your faith burning steady. Together, we build not an audience, but an altar, a gathering place for those who still believe that grace speaks, light heals, and purpose never expires.